Howdy, it's Ron here again. Look, you've clicked on the link to come through because you want to know a little bit more about inside prison and what's going on there. So one day a week I go and spend my day in prison talking to guys who are under corrective services. And one of the things which has really blown me away is the knowledge I'm taking away from them. You know, people go in, or people think that chaplains are the guys who go in and have it all together, or be able to guide these guys and bring them to Christ and all this stuff. But you know what? I've learnt so much more from those guys than they have from me, that's for sure. It's been an absolute privilege to spend my time in prison each week. And I just wanted to share a couple of the stories which this last week I have come across. So one young lad who was in the residential area. So the residential side is fairly large and open, with a bundle of little like housing complexes around it, so the guys have a little bit more freedom. But one of the guys was walking around with a guitar, young fella, very young, but he was in there walking around with a guitar. Now this is bizarre because I've never seen a guitar in prison before, but he's saved up and bought it in his buy-up, and he's walking around playing music, just playing music, walking around the yards. And I stopped him and had a bit of a chat. Now this kid was very talented. He played some songs for me, unusual style and very beautiful. So he wonderful on the guitar, but he also an acoustic guitar, and he plays rap music. So he does rap music to it, but the rap music is very melodic and sung and not particularly spoken words kind of stuff. But it blew me away how beautiful this music was. And the music was a reflection on his life, on the trauma and the past and the stuff he's been through, on his journey inside and what's going on, and his future and what he wants to do. And it's such great talent. And when he comes out, he wants to embrace this and work on his musical career, putting something out there. So working on that whole thing I say all the time. What you don't transform, you transmit, you know. So it's that stuff where he's got all this issues and trauma and whatever, and he's using it for good and transmitting it and getting it out there, processing it through music, which is beautiful. You know, I'm a big fan of music. I love it. I'm hopeless at it. I'd love to be able to play guitar and stuff, but I just can't. I'm useless. But I can play the spoons. That's about it. But anyway, this guy, you know, and this is what music is about, is an opportunity to distill your life experiences, to distill those things in the world which irritate you or get on your back or cause problems, to something which is palatable, beautiful, and reflective for other people to experience part or open their eyes up to what you're talking about and what you've been through. This guy gets it. And I so look forward and hope he has a wonderful, beautiful, prosperous career on the outside of his music. I, for one, would be signing up and getting these albums. Just amazing. But anyway, that's kind of a side topic. The thing this guy, which really threw me, was he was telling me about how he'd been in, I think it was 14 or 15 foster homes. So never knew his mum and his dad, and spent his entire life in foster care. And the thing which came out of his mouth, which really blew me away, was talking about what a privileged life he'd had. What a privilege it was to be in those foster homes. He said some of them were wealthy, some of them were really poor, everything in between. He got bounced around a lot. He said he never wanted for anything. There was always food. There was always shelter. There was always some form of comfort. There was education. He got his first guitar and learnt to play music through all this. Most people I know who've been through the foster care system take it on as this horrific thing, this trauma they've been through. And I know you could see it was traumatic for this guy, but he's trying to take the positive and the good out of these experiences and use that to mold his future. Not focus on the negative, but develop the positive, if that makes sense, out of his situation. And my hat's off to anyone who could do this, particularly the guys who are inside, who are in prison, for the stuff they've done, and they're taking accountability for their actions and what they've done. They're serving their time, but they're also trying to produce something better in the future for themselves. He admitted to me that his fault is women. He comes out and gets into relationships with women with drug addiction and drug dependency, and that's what usually causes him to slip. So he's been in and out of prison a couple of times, always because of the relationships he's been in. He never said it was because of the relationships of the women, but because of himself and that relationship and his weakness towards that when he's in that relationship. So, but I prayed with this guy, and I spent a lot of time with him, and hope that his music career comes through, that he gets the chances that he needs when he comes out, to really flourish and shine and be able to carve his way through this world, which will, no doubt, it will inspire many. But the other one, and the one day I met this other guy, big fella covered with tattoos, and he's sitting there reading in his cell block in one of the highest security areas. And I walked up and got to sit down with him, and, "What are you reading, mate? What are you doing?" And we had a good chat. And this guy has spent, I think it was 25 years in prison. He's soon hopefully going to be out on parole. So he was in 25 years for murder. He was young, silly, and trying to be a tough man and get into the gangs and the club world and find family in the places where you could never find family. Find some opportunity or somewhere to belong. So he did this and got into this world and did something silly and took a life. And he's paid his time. But there's a saying, which is, you do your time or your time will do you. And he has done his time. When he's been in there, he's got something like 6 degrees, which blew me away. So he's been studying the whole time. He's got a psychology degree, a criminology degree. It was, I can't remember, study of culture, indigenous studies. He's really thrown himself into this and said, right, I'm in here for 25 years. I'm going to make myself a better man in this time. So he's devoured and took on as much knowledge as possible. We're sitting there quoting Shakespeare back and forwards, and all sorts of things, talking about Faust and Russian literature and all sorts of things. It was absolutely incredible. I loved it. I wish I could have spent all day there talking to him. But this man is really trying to make something of his life, and wants to use his experience, his time, his 25 odd years he's spent in there. He said, really, he's been studying criminology from the inside. He's been studying these guys coming through prison, the things they're going through, their mindsets, all of this sort of stuff. And when he comes out, he really hopes to get a job or get a position where he can make impact to stop people coming through those doors, to change people's lives so they don't have to go through what he went through. And again, these stories inside of people who kind of live bigger lives than themselves, who are so passionate and want to make a difference in the world and want to use their negative experience for the positive, who want to stop other people going through the stuff they've been through and want to change the world for the better, and who are going to use their negative experiences to bring out something beautiful. Love that. And look, there's so many guys inside who embrace what they've done, who accept what they've done, accept responsibility for it, and are trying to move on. When you come across those guys, I learn so much, and I just want to sit at their feet for a while, and absorb their knowledge and their experience and these sort of things. So, going into prison is an incredible privilege to be a chaplain, to go in. But the thing which, throws many. I was talking to one of the guys who's high up in prison chaplaincy yesterday, and he said, You know, I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say that before when I said that the incredible thing about prison chaplaincy is the amount I learn going in from the guys doing the time or have had those life experiences which have got them there. But love it. So you want to know more, by all means, reach out. Also, this is our new newsletter. By all means, subscribe to it if you want. Pass it around to other people so they can get to know Fringe a little bit better. Feel free to come along to one of our services, so 40 Portwood Street at Redcliffe, 3 o'clock. We do a check-in where we talk about our week, where God's been in our week, that kind of thing. And at 5 o'clock, we have a service, sort of. So our service is a little bit different to what you normally think. It's more interactive, where we want to hear your voice and your opinion, not just preach at you, but we want to go to the places you need to go and where you want to go. And you've got that desire and questions to follow God better. We just want to walk with you and help you, and that's what the Fringe Church is all about. So, you know, you can get me at ron@thefringechurch.com for email, at our website, thefringechurch.com, YouTube, we're everywhere. So make contact. You know, you need anything, you've got any questions, by all means ask, and we will do our best to help you or to bring you alongside us where we can help each other. All right, love you guys. Keep doing the good work. And that's it for what's going on inside this week. We'll talk